Hello everyone, it's Monstertaming Bisloba coming at you with another Kindred Fates video. We're actually on the last submitted team by Inku. Now he could always submit for more into the future, but this is the last one from the original batch he gave me. And that reminds me, after this we're going to be covering the last one that V Senpai gave me, and then we will have covered all submitted teams and the vast majority of even close to viable teams. But if you think you have a team that we haven't covered yet that you want to be reviewed, just go into the link in the description below, join my Discord, and feel free to tag me in it and post any number of teams that you like. I just ask that you please check the videos that I have uploaded and do not upload an exact copy of a team I've already covered. But otherwise, I'm willing to look at any of your teams, even if they're extremely off meta. You can leave a small description of why you like them, why you thought they should be covered, why they're fun, why they're good, why they're bad, and I will check them out. But without further ado, let's get into Inku's team. We have a Black Mask Slifer, pretty much identical to what we already saw with Slifer. The last time we saw the Black Mask Slifer and everything I said stands before. It is a good, solid damage with Pilfer to help you get healing items to negate the damage from Black Mask, and then fling when you're tired of Black Mask. I love to see rations on the Skulkin. In fact, I'm pretty sure Inku is the first person to use rations Skulkin in the modern meta. I think the first time Ration Skulkin was ever used was a long time ago, and like before all the waves were even out for the alpha. I can't remember who did it, but I remember I played around with it for a little bit and didn't like it because that was back then when you could have Peach on multiple kinfolk, and I thought that, yeah, Peach is better on Skulkin than Rations. But did try it out for a little bit of times and even thought that Rations were good on Skulkin for a little while. So the Rations on Skulkin thing has been around for a long time and has been recently kind of brought to a renaissance by Inku. And it is wonderful because it helps you stay alive. With Skulkin teleport, especially on a map like Ruins. You can just teleport to the other side of the map, take cover, and your Skulkin becomes incredibly annoying to deal with. You can use Dark Volley for a little bit of chip damage while you slowly heal. I still prefer Crescent Strike even with Ration Skulkin because I think that countering Reflect is more important than the chip damage. And instead, you can just run Homing Shot. For this build in particular, I see Withers here. Wither does wonderful damage, but is incredibly difficult to aim. Wither is one of the abilities on Skulkin that I've never seen anyone get truly good with. I know Inku got pretty good with it for a while, but then stopped using it, at least to my knowledge, because it's just the effort's not worth the reward. But if you can hit with Wither, you're going to love to see it, because then you can switch to Style Murder, hook up very easily, howl them, and then go to town on them. Yeah, and Wither's damage by itself, even if you don't slow them. I mean, even if you're going to slow them if you hit them, but even if you don't combo them, the damage alone is well worth it because you can just keep Wither, and it makes it a lot easier to hit after you've slowed them for the first time. If you use Startle with Wither, Skulkin actually becomes a DPS machine if you can hit Wither consistently. Salamarder, exact same builds we've seen in Inku's other teams, exact same things I had to say about the other teams. Good damage, just needs some setup, and you have to acknowledge that he's going to be really weak if he loses that setup. And then we have a perfectly normal, everyday average Ember with a Peach and standard setup for Ember. So, about this team's squishiness, survivability, damage, all that stuff. The damage is wonderful. You have a Black Mask Slifer who's going to do a lot of damage. You have Salamarder who's going to do a lot of damage. You have Ember who can do a lot of damage. You have Wither on Skulkin, which, assuming that you're good at it and assuming you're going to hit a lot, that's going to do a lot of damage. Your survivability with Skulkin and Ember are wonderful because you have Rations and Peach. Your survivability of Salamander's alright because you have an Aloe, which can help you avoid getting punished as hard by Ember. You do not have a Lumala, so that means your Salamander is never going to heal on its own, though, which is a little bit sad. And for your Slifer, is going to depend on whether or not you can get healing items off of your opponent in time before you kill them. And if you can, And then your Slifer has some good sustainability. I think this team strikes a nice balance. It's very, very sustainable. It can last for a while under the right circumstances and has wonderful damage under those right circumstances. And you might think, well, what's wrong with this team? Why isn't it like the meta team? If it has incredible damage and incredible sustainability. And that would be because the skill cap for this team is absolutely insane. Almost no one is going to be able to play this team to its fullest extent, I don't think, because that you have just general jankiness of some of these abilities. You have just that really hard to land. You have a Black Mass Slifer, for example. You need to play Slifer at an incredible level to make Black Mask even close to work. Almost everyone who plays this game besides Inku will not be able to play Slifer at that level. Um, Skulkin, Wither is incredibly hard to hit. It's going to be incredibly inconsistent, and you will require a lot of patience and not a small bit of luck to make it work. Salamurder needs a ton of setup, and he's incredibly vulnerable if he loses the kinfolks that can give him that setup. In this case, Slifer and Skulkin go down. Salamurder pretty much becomes a dud, and he's not going to do essentially anything for you. Inbear is pretty much the only safe option on this team because Ember is just consistently good, and having only one safe kinfolk on this team is why I think you should avoid this team completely until you get a lot of skill and a lot of time in the game. Inku can probably make it work. I'm pretty sure Separated could probably make it work. I could maybe make it work, but I don't think that any of us would do great against a easier to play team. Like if you took anyone in the top 5 players and put one of them on this team, one of them on a more, a safer team, I think the safer team would win more often than not. Probably not win every single time, but it would win more often than not, and I think this is why you don't see this team as the meta. But let this be a lesson. Me and Pexan specifically thought that Slifer was a completely useless kinfolk back in the day, and then later on, there was quite a few people who thought that Salamurder was not a great kinfolk either, and was really basically useless, but then Tindor came and made Salamurder useless. Inku made useful, sorry. Inku came and made Slifer useful. So maybe if you're watching this, you can come and then make this team and make Wither useful. Wither is a really uncharted territory that no one has really gotten to use, and most people consider to be a useless ability, but maybe the right person hasn't come along. So if you can master Slifer, if you can master Salamurder, and then master Wither, this is a wonderful team, and you would see great success with it. With that, leaving on that high note, hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye, God bless, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.